Anyway, had a brief distraction there from the wife. So yeah, I goofed it up. I've been monkeying with these for quite a while, but I'm not immune to making bonehead mistakes like that from time to time. 9 times out of 10, you know, I just they come off fairly easy. Usually I don't have to put a puller on them at all. I just put a little pry bar underneath there, make sure I'm not going to mess something up in doing that, and just apply a little bit of pressure. And usually this mallet here, a little bump on the end of the shaft, and she pops right off, no problem. That wasn't the case here. So let me turn the camera back. So in the previous video I had mentioned that the threads, spark plug threads, were messed up, and I don't know if we're going to get a good shot of this or not. I might have to shed a little bit of light, extra light here. So let's see. I don't know if we're going to get it or not. There, you can kind of see it. See how chewed up and mangled those are? The threads are pretty much gone all the way down on that side. Really the only thing holding it was that right there. Okay. So yeah, they're pretty toast. And story behind that, how I figured that out. So when I got it, it was, you know, it was all together and running. Now, this is what I used this go around as my piston stop. Many of you are probably familiar with these. Stick that in there and roll it up to top dead center, and bada boom, bada bing. Somewhere around here, I don't have it with me, but I have the plug type stop. And after I had first got my hands on this saw, the clutch, which I think is inside, clutch was making all sorts of noise, and upon initial inspection was obviously not right. So I wanted to get it off of there and inspect it and see if there's anything I could do to get a little bit more life out of it. So in doing that, you know, I used that plug stop, and 9 times out of 10 that's what I use, and I have never had a problem with them. You know, you make sure they're seated in there good, run that thing over against it, do what you got to do, move on. And this time around, I'm pretty confident that the threads, I didn't really pay attention to them up until that point, but they had to have been damaged, because when I used that plug stop to get this nut loose on the clutch side of the crankshaft, it screwed up those threads. When I pulled that thing out, I could feel something was wrong, and looked at it and was like, oh. So anyway, that's that. Hey, while I got you guys on camera, I'm gonna flip. So here's the bones of that 350 that I was showing you guys, the new cylinder that I was working on. Gas tank. I got all sorts of stuff laying around here. P60 parts. Old C72. That'll be a project sometime in the future. Here's that Husqvarna 44 Rancher. A customer, I think it was last year or the year before, could tell I liked old saws, and he's like, hey, I got something you might like, and he just gave it to me. Anyway, I've already told part of the story, so no reason to recount that. But yeah, she's souped up pretty good. Ironically, runs pretty good for the condition the insides are in. You know, I polished and cleaned things up, and I think long term what I really need to do, the cylinder was totally salvageable. Obviously it's still running with the old scored piston and ring. I want to put a new piston and ring on it. That 28-inch bar on a 44cc saw. That's crazy. Full comp to boot. And there's its twin right up there. My uncle found that at the dump years ago and gave it to me. It was all crunched and not too bad. It was mostly what was crunched was just that the bar. I was missing a few pieces, gas caps and stuff like that. Anyway, this one I haven't monkeyed with, other than, well, actually my son did that. Put the fish gill in the muffler. There's a case of monkey see, monkey do. He saw me doing it on some of my saws. But he tried it. This was his saw, and for whatever reason he gave it to me after a while. So, yeah. A few other old soldiers next to it. This was a dump find. Let's see. This old Echo. That one, if you put fuel in it, it'll fire off, but the fuel lines were literally melted in it. And I'm guessing every rubber component in it's probably in the same condition. So it would either be a complete overhaul, or it just, in this case, makes a nice shelf piece. It's not really worth enough to me to put time and money into, so it just sits there. And if you guys have watched previous videos, you've seen those up there. 1010, two 1010s and a 110. That 1010 closest to us here, with the chain brake, that's a newer addition to the collection. I got it at the same time that I got that old Macola 200 over there from the same guy. They both run really, really nice. So, yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all for now. See you next go around. You all take care, wherever you might be. Bye.